Yeah. Welcome to Rebel Responsibly, the gaming podcast that is like your Dinklebot telling you need to defend me from 1,000 wave of hive while I take my sweet ass time trying to unlock this door. Yeah. I'm your host, Rebel Havoc, and you can pretty much guess what I'm going to be talking about today. Destiny. Bungie's Destiny. That's right. Legendary makers of Halo 1, 2, and 3 decided to make a space shoot and loot type of game, and it's pretty good. Today, we're going to be talking about the light and the darkness, or the good and the bad if you don't really get that joke. My guardians, let us talk about the light, or the good. The first thing on the good list here is the shooting mechanics. The shooting mechanics in this game are very, very good. I think it's like the highlight of the game. Going around, shooting shit in PvE, getting headshots in PvP feels really, really good. It's smooth and it's spot on, and there is just enough aim assist to make you feel like a headshot god. Very easy to pick up and very, very awesome feeling going around getting headshots in this game. I love it. I really do. I love it. The next thing we're going to talk about are the graphics. The visual aesthetics of this game are extremely well done, in my opinion. The planets that you go to, Mars, Venus, Earth, they all have unique and different looking environments. Even the moon, which is like the most boring and plainest looking planet, looks really good for a boring and plain looking planet. Especially when you look up in the sky on the moon and you see the satellites flying across the night sky with the stars. Venus, with its jungles and its orange soda, looks very good. Even Mars with its deserts, though they're really fucking bright orange, looks really, really good. The gear and the weapons that your guardians can use, they also looks really, really good. Especially the exotic gear and the exotic weapon, because those are the most unique looking items that your guardians can have. They look like that the artist team took some time and put some work into this gear and the weapons. They look really, really fucking nice. The next thing we're going to talk about here on the goody good list is progression. Player progression. I really like the player progression in this game. From 1 to 20, it's really fast. Like, you can do it in a weekend. I think that is awesome for busy folk like me, or people who have kids, or people who work too much for those people, because they can get to the end game at a very decent rate. But once you do hit 20, you go into the light leveling system. And the light leveling system is when you actually raise your character level based upon the gear you have, not the weapons, but the actual gear that your guardian is wearing. Because each piece of gear after 20 has a light rating on it. And that light rating adds up with all your gear, which equivalates your character's level. Very different way of leveling, especially in an RPG, FPS. And in my personal opinion, I believe this should have been the way of leveling through the entire game, because it just changes up your thought of actually going around and killing enemies in the game. You don't kill for EXP, you kill for drops. So essentially, it turns into a shoot and loot game, not a shoot and level up game. It literally becomes a shoot and loot game, which I think is very interesting. I've played a lot of MMOs, played a lot of RPGs. Never have I ever seen a leveling system like this, and I believe they should have kept it like this from the start. And the last thing on our list of good light is the PvP / the Crucible. Can be very, very fun. The abilities and the weapons all adds up to varied matches between you and other guardians. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of game modes. You can mix and match your abilities with your weapons, totally change up your fighting style, and go out there and just either dominate, get dominated, or have some really close matches. This has been my experience in the PvP. It's very, very fun. And even though there isn't like a matchmaking system to base you on skill, it doesn't really need one, because some abilities and some weapons really carry you through the PvP. So my dear guardians, my dear guardians, We are now going to talk about the darkness or the bad if you really just don't get these jokes. First thing on the naughty list, lack of content, aka things to do. There's a lack of things for you to do in this game. Now, based on what the game gives you, it seems like a lot, but you can do those things in such a fast pace that it pretty much ruins you having a lot of things to do. There's 3 planets, or 3 or 4 planets, 5 or 6 strikes, and really there's 1 raid. Then there are patrol missions which are on the planet, which is kind of like open area type of missions. But the strikes, the patrols, and even the story missions in this game can be done at such a fast rate that they kind of lose their point after a while. And then you only have 1 raid, 1 ultimate test of your skills and teamwork. And even that can become tedious and easy and efficient. And there really isn't another raid in the game, so you can compare that one to the other one. It's just not very much you to do. And then you will repeat these missions, these story missions, patrols, even the raids, so much that it just becomes repetitive. It pretty much just becomes so fucking repetitive. But it's okay though, because the shoot and loot is what keeps you playing this game. But you do notice that, holy fuck, I'm just doing this shit over and over and over again. So not very much for you to do, especially the patrol missions. You can pick up one of those and get it done within a minute. The second thing on the naughty list is the social aspect of this game, as in you interacting with other players in a social type of environment. Now, the tower, I believe, was supposed to be the most social place in this entire game, next to the open environment where all the patrol missions are at. Not very much you can do there to interact with your other fellow players / guardians. There isn't a chat or text message window where you can like send out messages throughout the whole tower. There is no proximity chat where you can walk up to another guardian and be like, "Hey, how you doing? I like that icebreaker. See what I did there? The icebreaker, see? Anyway, and then when you're looking for like people for strikes, especially like the weekly and the nightfall or raid, there isn't like a bounty board or not bounty board. There's not a postage board where you can post up messages saying you're looking for or you are willing to join a group. Definitely could have improved on that. On the Xbox One, you can use a party chat, but still, it's not very likely some random person is going to join your party chat, so you can ask them a simple question. And it's really difficult for you to go outside the game, type in that player's name, and then send them a message. It's very, very difficult. The next thing on our naughty list is the lack of story. Now, I have no fucking idea what is going on in this game. I've been playing this game almost since launch, and I have no fucking idea what this story is about. All I know is that your guardian supposed to go somewhere, kill some dude, and that's about it. Like, I don't know anything about the fractions. I don't know anything about the allies. There is really no interesting character that explains anything to you in this entire game. Now, there is a way that you can find out what the fuck is going on, but it's an outside source, which you get from inside the game. It's kind of weird. So you get the Grimoire cards, and the Grimoire cards are linked to your guardian for doing these certain tasks within the game. But you can't read those in game. You have to fucking go outside the game in order to find out more about the lore in this game. And all I gotta say about that is, fuck that. Because I don't want to have to leave the game. I want to learn about what the fuck is going on in this universe in the game. This weirds me out having to kind of leave what I was enjoying in order to understand why am I enjoying it. So, fuck that. The next thing is the RNG, the random number generator. Very bad. This mostly has to deal with loot and even character progression, because this can slow you down dramatically, especially once you get to the light level when you need gear to level up and you can't get gear. The loot is very random, set on a very random loot table. You can get the same gear from level 1 enemies as you would get from level 30 enemies. You could get that same type of gear. Really fucking random. And after missions, story missions, and strikes, And even after PvP matches, you are judged to another random number generator, which the game will reward you again with gear, weapons, and other random shit. And same type of random loot table right there. And in order you to hit the max level, you need to do the raid. And after each section in the raid, you are supposed to get either raid gear or some other weapon or some other random shit that you can't really even use to help improve your character. And those specific items you will only find in the raid. And those are set on the same fucking random loot table and can dramatically stop you from even hitting 30. I've heard of people doing the raid 47 times before they finally got the pieces they needed. Now, I'm going to talk something about progression in the loot table. Alright. I say progression is good, but the RNG is bad. And that is the truth. Alright. People are like, no, you're not supposed to progress fast in this game. And you know what I say? Fuck that. It is okay for you to have max level characters at a fast rate, especially in this game, because this game don't have much to it in the first place, in my own humble opinion. This is your only experience. Everything you do in this game is your experience and your experience only. So it's okay if you progress through this game fast. And if you don't understand that, I am going to explain furthermore here in the random thoughts section here. This is just some random thoughts about some issues that have came up in this game. Mostly dealing with us, the gamer, and actual how the developer interacts with its community. So first of all, this game is all about us, the gamer. So I'm going to talk about us here, the gamer, or according to Destiny, Guardians. Now, there was an issue that had came up. I like to call it the Atheon push / the loot cave. This particular issue was about how players played the game and how other players didn't like or saw what those other players were doing. The Atheon push. First, let's explain the Atheon push. Atheon is the last boss in the game, and there is a legitimate way, or I'm not even going to say it that way. There is the official Bungie way of beating Atheon, as in Bungie wanted you to do it this way. That's cool. But then there was another group of Guardians who figure out a different way of beating the last boss, which is pushing him off the edge of, this cliff. They didn't use any third-party sources. They just used what the developers gave them in-game and managed to push the boss off the cliff. It can be faster, but it also takes time. Just as much time, I say, to beat him legitimately, or the Bungie way. The next issue was Loot Cave. Pretty much, the enemies has spawn points, pretty much from caves. So there was this loot cave where if the player stood far enough that they could shoot into this cave and kill off enemies. And the enemies, since the loot table is so fucking random, and you can get the same drops from off level 1 mobs as you would for level 30, people would just sit in front of this cave, shoot into it and kill off enemies, and then all these drops will fall off the enemies, and they would just go and collect their loot. Now this has upset some of the player base of the game, as in they feel that the players who do the Atheon push / the loot cave are not playing the game right, and strongly disagree with what these players are doing. So they made a big uproar about this and telling Bungie to fix this. I pretty much sort of kind of explained how the loot works, but I'm going to explain it to you one more time. The loot that you get in this game is yours and yours only. Alright, when you go out and you kill an enemy and he drops like something really rare, no one else can pick that loot up but you. That loot is yours and yours only. Alright, you're the only one who sees that loot, and no one else can see it or even pick it up. First of all, let's go to the loot cave. So when they're dropping on that loot, those are all the weapons for that player. Nobody else can touch it, only them. Now, the same thing you can say about the Atheon push. You can go push him off and he's gonna drop all that crazy, stuff, weapons, gear, random fucking colors for those Guardians in the raid. Both of those things still set to that loot table. But the problem players are having is that they're getting that loot too fast. What they don't understand is that there is no trading, there is no auction house. You cannot do anything to flood the market in this game. And whether you shoot at the loot cave or you push Atheon out, you're still subjected to the loot table. So there's really only one person that can affect your experience in this game, and then that's you, whether you decide to do missions and get shit the normal way, or you sit in front of loot cave and fucking shoot into the hole or push Atheon out. You're still subjected to the same loot table that everyone else is subjected to. So, to those players who are trying to, I'm going to say it like this, to those players who are trying to dictate those particular gamers how to play this game, shame on you. Shame on you, because you know their experience is not even affecting your experience. I know you wanted to feel like a special snowflake, but fuck you for telling another player how to play their game. I will understand if they were going to be flooding the market and they were going to cause the economy in this game to crash. But there is no shit like that in this game. None of that. There is no trading, no auction house. So fuck you for trying to tell them how to play the game. Next thing on the random thought here is Bungie. Because Bungie played not only a part in this loot cave and Atheon push, it also has very much of a play in the community itself. First thing we're going to mention is they patched. They fixed the Atheon push and the loot cave. I feel that Bungie has punished players just because how the game is set up. They have punished players for playing the game how they want to play it. And they clearly came out and said this is not how the game is supposed to be played. They might not exactly say it like that, but that's what they were saying. This is not how this game is supposed to be played. Even when the player experience of his or theirs and theirs own. The second thing I want to mention about Bungie is they're fucking cryptic with the info. I don't know why, but it's really hard to understand even the patch notes they come out for this game. Very, very loose or cryptic, or just it's hard to understand anything that comes out from Bungie. And it definitely has caused the community to be very frustrated. And I can understand that. It's like a 3-year-old child trying to read college level work. You know, the shit just doesn't work. You need to make it simple, understandable, while being detailed. The next thing, and this is mostly dealing with the raid, is the raid is very buggy. And with such a mission that requires so much teamwork and fucking coordination, when shit breaks in this raid, it wipes your entire team. Like, you will fucking be ruined, especially if you're playing hard mode raid when you can't res anybody. That shit can fucking suck, and you have to start all over. They need to fix that shit, alright? They really do just need to fix that shit. Also about the raid, and this is with the last boss, Atheon, they added some randomness to Atheon. So, the last boss, I would expect you to be highly coordinated, using all of your character's abilities in coordination with your other guardians' abilities to accomplish this task. And they threw in randomness in it. So no matter what character you're using or what abilities you have, it doesn't really matter, because this small amount of randomness has fucking ruined the coordination for this last portion of the raid. And all I gotta say about that is, fuck that. It actually has hindered also newer players who want to try to get into the raid from trying to get into groups, because groups are not willing to, well, some groups or most groups are not willing to teach newer players how to do the raid. And once you start making things less user friendly, you start fucking things up. And don't throw randomness into don't throw randomness into order. All right, if your game wasn't built for chaos, then don't fucking try to add chaos. So that is pretty much it for this podcast. If you have any kind of constructive criticism, whether it's good or bad, please do hit me a message up, or hit me up, send me a message. If you have any kind of opinion about today's topic, which is Destiny, please do let me know. I want to hear from you guys. I really like Destiny. It's a good game, but I don't see myself playing it in the future. So thank you once again, and as always, remember to rebel responsibly.